Damn!
Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to cover a tune build for the Tsukuba Circuit Endurance Race, which is part of the new missions released in patch 1.1. For this build, our focus is on the Mazda MX-5 Miata. I use this tune to complete the 1-hour race, which has dynamic weather and multiple pit stops. In this video, I'll go over the tune in detail, share some tips and tricks, and provide a summary at the end, which you can come back to for a quick and easy reference guide later. So a quick history on the Miata. It first made its appearance in September of 1989. Its compact, rear-wheel drive, and a simple 1.6-liter dual overhead cam engine made it a fun drive, and it was an instant hit. The B6ZE engine produced 118 horsepower and over 101 foot-pounds of torque. Mazda sold over 530,000 units worldwide, which at the time set a world record for production of a 2-passenger open vehicle, which was acknowledged through the Guinness Book of World Records that same year. So let's get to the tune. So stock performance goes from 518 performance points to just under 600. Max horsepower goes from 218 horsepower to 218. Torque increases to 157. Weight is slightly increased. I've adjusted the balance slightly from front and rear. Acceleration performance is overall dramatically improved, and stability and turning characteristics of the car have improved as well. So the only permanent upgrades we had for this tune was stroke up. For performance upgrades, we've got a bunch, so these include racing hard and wet or intermediate tires, which are your choice. The weather is dynamic on this course, so you absolutely will need a second set of tires. I personally bought both. In my 2 runs of this track, I did notice that the weather was variable for sure. And I ran on intermediate and then later changed to wet further in the run, but your experience may vary as you kind of get into the race. Other performance upgrades includes a fully customized suspension, fully customized differential, a rear spoiler available in GT Auto, a full control computer, full customizable racing transmission, and then racing air filters, brakes, pads, and a clutch and flywheel. So here's the adjustments that were made. I lowered the body height, I increased the anti-roll bar stiffness, I raised the natural frequency, reduced toe angle, and adjusted the LSD to be more active. I also increased downforce, I dialed the ECU back down to 97%, and a small amount of weight to round out the performance score. In terms of transmission, it's been geared to 220 top speed. Feedback from previous videos is you guys wanted to see the gearing ratios. Here they are up on screen now. They should be primarily stock with minimal adjustments, but just in case, pause here and refer back to this should your performance points vary at the end of the build. So overall, this car gives much more stability. The steering is tighter without being as twitchy before the tune. The car also maintains a higher entry and exit speed than any other car on the track, meaning you'll gain time on corners. I added a bunch of downforce because the tendency of this car is the rear to slip out. If you are better at feathering the throttle, you can relax some of the LSD restrictions and downforce to improve your top speed, but it is a short track with only 2 small straights. I opted instead for a lot more stability and just winning the race through effective pitting and consistent lap times. The livery on the car is custom, but I didn't design this one. This one was built by the creator shown on screen now. Please take a moment and check them out if you like it, or feel free to download or add it to your collection. I'll give you a quick overview of the race details should this be your first time tackling the endurance race. Please understand that these are just guidelines and the strategy that I followed. There are many guides for this race available on YouTube, so just search if you're having some troubles. This race features multiple weather changes. I've seen both heavy and light rain. It's a super short track, meaning your entry and exit out of corners, and a high exit speed for the final U-turn is critical to making solid time. You're going to need to restrict your fuel usage to gain the advantage over pit times, and be prepared to check the weather and watch the moisture on the track. It's important for this track that you're running on the right tires at all times. My strategy was to push hard at the start when the track was dry. After the 3rd lap or so, I moved my fuel mapping down to 6 and just timed my pit stops and sustained as much fuel as possible. If I knew I was going to pit, I'd push harder on fuel to burn as much as possible before I actually entered the pit. Weather will likely start to change around lap 20. I'd pit and potentially change to intermediate or wet depending on what you're seeing on the track. The key here is to have full laps available with the right tires on the car. With any luck, your competitors are caught with half a lap or 3/4 of a lap out, and you'll make up significant time on the challenge. You are going to need to pit multiple times depending on your fuel consumption. I built this car with hard tires to limit my stops, but if this tune isn't working for you, I'd recommend you detune the car slightly and try it with mediums. I tested it and it will work, but I did just find I had an easier time with a higher top speed available, and the car seemed to handle just fine on hards for this track. So instead I opted to reduce dependency on timing for the perfect pit stop. Near the end of the race, flip back to racing tires and just run out the clock. So I hope you enjoy this tune, and the video helps steer you in the right direction to knock out the first endurance race. If you enjoy these tunes, please like or comment below. It greatly helps with the channel growth on YouTube, and helps guide me on content creation. If you're looking to connect with others and around gaming in general, feel free to join our 22 Gaming Discord. We're a growing community of like-minded mature gamers covering multiple titles. If you're looking to someone to game with at any time, 22 Gaming has got you covered. As always, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.